All right, how you doing?
Good. Not wearing my lipstick. Yeah.
See, you have it.
I had her look at it, and you make that change, you know, where it's gonna be nothing.
Later on, you're in your bed and it's like, there's a council meeting tonight? I'm like, no. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
my bad.
Clean up the beach home. Well, Thursday got you guys to St. Louis and then. They won't be here.
For basketball. I was looking like it, yes. Yes, so, we're doing good, I do, meals and food. Oh, we are, gonna be in the Greenville, and, there's like 3 shoes out for hosting, shoes Because we used to host one, right? Yeah. I think that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Not yet.
I've been thinking about
Okay, now I know I'm supposed to go around. I know weekend fishing, yeah, but it's like,
yeah. There's a really good one at Jimmy Express. A lot instead of every spot. They look at Anarchy, Steve Stewart, and I love them. They have just like the burgers and, like sandwiches, yeah, they're good.
I mean, all my years drive by.
All day, like, hot dogs.
I guess.
I mean, I know we're probably not much better, but you probably today a little bit.
Whenever we had
I just wanted to get an idea of you, what I can do.
Yeah, I've heard that's on case now. And that's, and that part of
I want you to take a picture. Because I'm driving. I don't want to get out, you know.
Is that where she's planning to go for his last
Easy to lose track.
Good.
Okay, perfect. I didn't write it down last State your name. You have to say the pledge of allegiance. And then you have to say the ABC backwards. Backwards. Better get it right. You fail, you cannot talk. Ask Aaliyah, she knows how to do that. What, talk to, speak.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Chrysler. Here. Eddie.
Here.
Schneider. Stevens. Here. Scott.
Here.
Smith. Here. Garrett. Here. Beeson.
Schneider.
7 Alderman. He answered coming.
Oh, we did, okay, great.
7 present, 1 absent.
All right, we will go on to consent agenda items, approval of minutes of previous meetings, payrolls, and disbursements.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda items.
Any questions? Roll call.
Chrysler.
Yes.
Eddie.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
Stevens.
Yeah.
Scott.
Yes.
Smith. Yes. Garrett.
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
I understand Ben has another engagement to get to, so we'll drag this out as long as we can. Go ahead, Ben.
Thank you. Quick update, we've got our pre-construction meeting scheduled for tomorrow for the wastewater treatment plant. So that process is moving forward. But the agenda item for tonight that we have is the amendment to the agreement for engineering services for the lead service line replacements. Been working with Brian and the city on getting a game plan together for the lead service line replacements. And part of that is getting some favorable funding for that project. We've got an application into EPA SRF. We have planning approval, which means that they will be scored this year and hopefully score well enough to obtain funding come July. part of that is they like to see a, construction services agreement in place. It'll just help your score, so the higher you score, the more likely you are to get favorable funding. So, we brought the, agreement for design, bidding, and construction services for tonight.
We won't be paying any money on this at all until we secure funding, so it's just something that has to be done by the end of the month. So I'll make a motion to pass the resolution.
Any questions for Ben? Okay, roll call.
Benny,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays, resolution 25-10.
That's all I have, unless anybody has anything else.
Happy trails.
Thank you.
Seth?
Thank you, Mayor. Nothing for approval tonight, just a few project updates for the city. So first off, on the packet that was sent out, the leverage funding for the IEPA, so that's still currently waiting on a grant agreement from DCO, which we did finally receive recently. So we'll actually get that submitted tomorrow. And it'll probably be 3 or 4 weeks before we get an executed copy. And what that entails is, once you get that executed copy, we have about 6 months to advertise the project. So we could be looking at fall construction for that 7th and Grant Street water main replacement. The Safe Routes to School project, survey's been completed and we're almost complete with the plans. The plan is still to do that construction while school is out in the summer, so we don't affect any pedestrian traffic, children, school buses, things like that. The OSLAC grant unfortunately was not funded. We have followed up with IDNR to request a debriefing. They still have not responded, so we will figure out what we can improve on before next cycle this September. On to the second page, the engineering for DCO grant. As I stated, the grant agreement has been executed. We'll get that to you and we will get that advertised here by the beginning of the fall. We're still waiting on some IEPA funding for the CDS grant and the DCO engineering costs. The ITEP project on page 3 that was submitted in September. Typically, they let us know first quarter. Here we are in March. IDOT still hasn't released awards, so we're still awaiting an update on the sidewalk project. The RISE RDMS grant for the water main downtown and the sidewalk. That is water main on Congress and Commercial Street, I believe. So that has actually been funded with some leverage funding used from RDBG for the city portion, the match. So that will be kicking off here probably toward the end of the summer. And the fire station rehabilitation for the roof, that was submitted February 28th by Kirby, so that has been taken care of. And the last thing is the future DCO application comes toward the end of the year. Those grants are due in December. Brian's given us a project area, so that's your last attachments in the handout, 10 and 10A. So the city is above the 51% LMI percentage, so you guys do not have to do income surveys. We've actually shot the meters, the valves, and the hydrants in the project area, so we will have a set of plans done probably by the end of this week or next, and get them sent off to the EPA for a permit. So that's actually a requirement now of the DCO grants, so we'll have to have that submitted before, we'll have to have that submitted and received before December, so that we can submit their application. So, any questions on any projects? That's a lot.
It doesn't look like it.
All right. Hope you guys have any questions before next month, please let us know. Thank you. Thanks for your time.
We'll move on to reports of officers, Mr. Stevens.
All right, a number of items this evening. The first one being resolution approving agreement with Angel Studios for a master license. This is in connection with showing movies at the theater.
Make a motion to pass the resolution.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Okay, call vote.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Benny,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays, resolution number 25-11.
The next item is a redevelopment agreement with BNT Glass for 201 South Poplar Street. There was some language change on section 1 requested by the developer. The minimum investment stated in the agreement is $277,000. That's reflected in section 1 of the agreement. And the developer wanted to have some language that would allow the parties to modify that investment if he's able to do his redevelopment at less cost than $277,000. And the language would also allow the city to adjust the incentive payment. If he saves money, the city may save some money. So the language just allows the parties to negotiate that and reach agreement if that situation arises.
They do not have that updated copy in front of me. Just so you know.
It's some language that the redeveloper requested. I'll read the exact language. In the event the parties agree to reduce the required minimum investment, the dollar amount of incentive payments will also be reduced as agreed between the parties.
Kirby, do you know anything about all this?
Yeah, so, originally one of the applicants, on that development team reached out to me, and they were concerned with that section because they felt that it held them to that minimum investment amount. And he said that they wanted to know if there could be any room for negotiation there in the event that, you know, once they got started on their project and they realized, like, you know, say with the interior remodel, that they were like, well, we would save money if we left this wall up and we really don't need it down anyway. And they didn't want something as simple as that was gonna be saving them money and then ultimately the city money to be a reason to default in their contract. So they just asked that we got that changed. They're not saying it's going to happen, they just didn't want them to be completely locked into that amount when there could be a situation where maybe it could be changed a little bit.
Did you talk to Moran and see if that was all right?
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it's still gonna be the same percentage of incentive, because if they save $10,000, then it's gonna reduce that much off of your incentive portion. So if they go down a certain percent, so will your incentive amount, it will go down as well. It will be reflected based on their total investment. It's the same principle. So it's not like their overall costs are gonna go down and our incentive amount's gonna stay the same. They will be reduced at the same rate. And that's just in the event that it happens.
Okay, because that's the first I heard about making changes to it.
They reached out late Friday afternoon asking about that, and then that's whenever I reached out to Steve about it as well, so.
So I think it's gonna be fine then, because everything we good on
I think you ought to go back to committee and then discuss
that. We've already dealt with this will be the third time. If that's what they think is gonna be the best
You
thing,
will-
I don't have a problem with it. I just didn't, this first I heard it, I wanna know what happened.
The city will still be sticking at the same,
Yeah, so it sounds like.
yeah, the city will still be stuck at incentivizing at the same percentage as they are now. It's just if their overall project budget decreases, then so will the incentive amount as well.
And I would point out that it would come back to the council to review if that situation arises. So you know all the facts at the time, and you can make a decision.
Sounds like we're fine now. I'll make a motion to pass the resolution.
Second, any questions? Further questions? Okay, roll call vote.
Stevens?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Smith? Garrett?
Yes.
Chrysler?
Yes.
Eddie?
No.
Schneider?
Yes.
6 ayes, 1 nay, resolution 25-12.
The next item is, goes along with the 201 South Poplar Street, and this is for facade grant improvement, facade grant of up to $5,000 for BNT glass.
Make a motion to pass that resolution.
Second.
Any questions on that one? Okay, roll call vote.
Scott?
Yes.
Smith? Yes. Garrett?
Yes.
Chrysler?
Yes.
Eddie?
Yes.
Schneider?
Yes.
Stevens? 7 ayes, 0 nays, resolution number 25-13.
The next item deals with the 7th Street and Grant Street water main projects. And this is the grant agreement with the State of Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. The grant is in the amount of $1.5 million.
Make a motion to pass that resolution.
Second.
Questions on that one? Okay, roll call vote there.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays, resolution number 25-14.
The next item is a resolution accepting a water main easement from Michael Mausen, trustee of the Michael Mausen Revocable Trust. This is for the water transmission.
And this is, what they had to work out on all these easements for that water line, so make a motion to pass that.
Questions? Okay, roll call vote.
Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie.
Yep.
Schneider.
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays, resolution 25-15.
The next item is referring a rezoning to the Planning and Zoning Board for 312 West Second Street.
Make a motion to refer to the Planning and Zoning Commission for the review.
Second.
Any questions?
I just wanted to point out, it says on the agenda to C2, but it says in the thing C1, so we may want to make sure they get that,
It's,
whichever way it's supposed to be,
it should be C1.
C1.
All in favor of send to zoning?
Aye.
Opposed?
The next item is also a referral to the Planning and Zoning Board. This is a proposed resolution dealing with recreational vehicle and travel trailer parks.
Make a motion to refer that to Planning and Zoning Commission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. That's it, Ray.
Okay, a couple weeks ago, the school found out in their part of 8th Street, they had a sinkhole, turned out to be a well. Kent went down there and helped them with the sucker truck. I mean, we worked on somebody else's stuff, but they're in an old street, and we thought we would help the school out as they're part of the community. So we did, they paid for the backfill, and we helped them clean it out. I got here to note that Watermelon Man signed his thing, but you just heard that. They started on the bike trail bridge, you've probably seen that on Facebook because something happened crazy. And then the roof theater is that tomorrow, that we open those bids, the theater roof and brickwork. On the west side of town, I guess it would be in number 4. There's two blocks in Hutchins or Huggins edition that do not have alleys, but you're looking at rocks running through people's backyard and everybody's using it like an alley. We ought to think about if you want that to continue, because our curb is cut so they can drive through your backyard, and there's probably, everybody's driving through each other's backyard, and garbage trucks and the rest of us. It would appear to the naked eye to be a public right of way. It's other people's backyard, so think about that, what that means, and how you fix it. And then, I need, Steve or somebody to write a work order to close that road by the, between Junction Garden Center and, Todd Stark. They're gonna start treating that like private property. And we do have a right of way up to that fire hydrant at the top of the little hill. It's
Vine Street.
It's a place that looks like a street and half of it's us and half of it's other people's private property, so we're gonna shut that off. We'll have to figure out what the appropriate signs are and put a couple concrete barricades up and, yeah, on Vine. But that's all I have.
Thank you. Kirby?
Just a quick update on the plaza project. So we have our architectural renderings completed on that. Per the grant agreement through USDA Rural Development, their architect has to approve our architect's plans, before we can proceed with, putting it out for bid. So I know that the USDA's architects did the first view of our plans, had a couple of things that they requested to be changed. It's been sent back to our architect to finish. And, we should be able to be putting that out for bid for construction here in the near future. So I'll keep y'all posted on that, but that's the plan with that.
Gotta love red tape.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kim?
We have to publish our zoning map by the end of the month every year, so I've included a copy of our zoning map for approval.
Make a motion to approve the map.
All in favor of approving the map?
Aye.
Opposed to the map? Okay.
And then the only other thing is just to make everyone aware that Ameren will be trimming trees along the bike trail near Taylorville Correctional Center this week. That's it.
Tanya? Nothing? Okay, now we have one item, I need council approval to approve a, what type of license? Class E liquor license, which is a restaurant for Taco Ray.
Which class? It's an E. They marked it wrong when I got ready to make the, actual license. I noticed that, so I
Just for the buyer's building?
The old Spring Garden.
Yeah. Motion to approve it.
Second. Okay, roll call?
Reister,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith, Garrett,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
All right, we'll go on to committees, several items in committee, community safety.
We got a motion to ask the Pana Township to reduce speed limit on 200 North Road to 40 miles per hour.
I'll second that.
No issue with the township? Okay, second, any discussion or question? Okay, roll call vote.
Eddie,
Yes.
Oh, hold on, there's a public comment.
So we live out here on Paragon, and there's about 6 of us here, and I've watched the safety meeting you guys had over it and pushed the speed limit back, and we don't believe that that's actually going to fix anything out there. And I speak for everybody, I don't know if anybody else has anything that they would like to add to it, but it's not gonna fix anything out there at all, one bit.
Interesting. So what would be a solution?
We think the best solution is to put stop signs at that intersection. It's also a bus stop there as well. People use that as a takeoff. I mean, they fly through that area. It's very dangerous, and there's a lot of kids out there that ride bikes up and down that road, so.
Community safety, was that discussed in the meeting about stop signs?
Yeah, we've gone from what direct engineer, Greg sent something to Milano and Brunlow, question to them, and they sent something back to us. And we've gone with that recommendation from what they sent back.
Their recommendation was what, a stop sign is not intended as a
It's not a speed control.
device?
Is it a safety device, though? Could it be used for safety?
They just read the, manual on uniform traffic control devices. Everybody's got a book, and they read that book, and the way they read that book, it doesn't say to stick up a stop sign. And then they'll let us make that call, and then when something bad happens, whoever us is will answer for it. So everybody tries to follow that book. That's where we got with those engineers.
Understand.
Okay, so what does committee think, council? Do we have anything we want to add, discuss with the gentleman while we're here?
Do you want to take this back to committee? mean, I can't change what I got on my motions now, can I? Can I
So you
say,
can
You can
withdraw.
rescind your.
Yeah, you can present a motion, and then another motion is sent back to committee for additional review.
Or you, I mean, you could move forward with the speed limit and revisit the issue.
The township road commissioner has agreed verbally to lower that speed limit. I don't know how lowering it could make things worse.
Chief?
So, for how many decades, it really wasn't an issue, but something happened over the last 6 months. Somebody's got a new license, moved in somewhere, taken a reroute. It has become more of an issue to us, and we're trying to get out there. It's not all the time, because we'll sit out there for 2 hours and we'll catch somebody, but as soon as we leave. But when this discussion came up, I was kind of open to the stop sign on the west intersection, but based upon the engineer's opinions, a lot of times they do that, they do the lesser intrusive opportunity first, and if it doesn't work, then we can go into the stop sign route. So I wouldn't oppose to that, even though I think either one will help. You know, it does extend the speed limit out farther west, which gives us farther out to enforce. Because as of now, we're 250 feet from the intersection where we can only enforce that.
That's where the city limit is.
Yeah. So either way, I think something needs
It's
to be done.
25, isn't it, into city, and then once it hits that, it's 40 past that point, correct?
It's
Currently,
55 now, it's 55 because it's rural unmarked.
The problem is that from the start to where it gets to 40 or 55 or whatever we're proposing, it's way blown past that at that point. So changing it on the backside is not gonna change anything on the front side at this point, is the problem.
well, what it does is it allows law enforcement to enforce a different rule if they change the law. So you could have the county, he can't slow them down when they're in the 40, but the county could enforce that too. I mean, if speeding's an issue and if 40 doesn't ruin somebody's life, going from 55 to 40, it can't hurt your situation. Right now, Reese, you're arguing against lowering the speed limit west of you.
I'm not against lowering it, I just don't think,
They've got a couple.
I think we're wasting a bunch of time.
I do
doing
agree,
that.
I think whoever's doing this, I think we've even reached out to some, trying to catch the driver. We've got descriptions from video surveillance. And I don't know if reducing speed is gonna affect them until we can catch them and fine them or put a stop sign on as well.
Well, that's a wide open area there from Coleman's place. It's straight shot, and they don't slow down until they get through that area.
Mhm. And there's a huge dip, and it's completely covered, so if you're coming from one way, you can't see anything until you get up past it, and then at that point, you're 25 mile an hour, and it's
That's that
dangerous.
creek in that box culvert.
Correct.
Probably the best thing to do, like you guys talked about before, putting stop signs there. They should stop them.
Well, if they stop.
Well, you go write tickets on a few of them,
But
they get around
it
the stop.
also could, it'd be like
Still
Fairgrounds
have to-
Road, it could give the person at the existing stop sign a false sense of security. And we've gone through this out there too, where the city hits the township and somebody's drove down there for 50 years, they may not stop first couple times at that stop sign. And you think they are, and then we're all in a pile in the ditch. There's a lot of stuff to think about on stop signs.
I'll just give this example. It was this year at Halloween, and we had somebody hit a deer and kill it on the spot, going that fast down that road around Halloween when kids were trick or treating around that area. So it's a bad deal out there, real bad.
And we've annexed that all in, and there's been no traffic control changes, so. Something is done.
Yeah,
Other than
it even
25
slowed down
years.
from where Coleman's did, that's just, they haul through there. It's been a problem, I haven't really heard anything about it for a while, I know it used to be a problem. And it kinda didn't hear anything. So I get back to what it was, stop signs, at least stop it, then the chief could have officers write tickets, because once they start getting tickets out there, word get around, and like we was worried about over here at Seventh and Chestnut Street, about them stop signs. I haven't heard any complaints about that, that seemed like they're stopping now.
I'm gonna rescind my motion and take it back to committee.
And the kids stand like right all the middle, so you guys better wait for the bus.
Any concern, okay? All in favor, send back to committee for additional review for stop sign. Opposed?
There's also been an issue, elementary school, Payne Elementary and Panther Drive. I was assuming that they had a yield sign there, but it's not there any longer. We decided, we was wanting to make a motion to put a stop sign at that spot there.
Second, any questions on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Is that the, it's my first reading, right?
We'll have to bring it back. That's
Yeah,
all.
That's all I got, thank you.
All right. Community operations.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve a one-time water bill adjustment for Mike Carter at 106 South State Street, amount of $204.83.
Second, any discussion or questions?
Okay, have these all been fixed, the problems?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
because they filled the form out and the states.
All four of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
The one of them, spinners, we went out and read that, it had a lot of damage on that one, it's all shut off. Contractor's gonna fix that, all was a pipe solder coating on it, so it's not gonna be a big deal there, question that, because it's not fixed yet, but it's gonna be, and there's no water going through it. It'll be fine on that.
Okay. We'll take roll call votes on
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider, Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith, Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
7
I'll make a motion to approve one-time water bill adjustment for Michael Rhodey at 1 Presnell in the amount of $910.25.
Second.
second, any questions on that one? Okay, roll call.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith, Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
7
I'll make a motion to approve a one-time water bill adjustment for Larry Spinner at 506 West Fifth Street, amount of $965.65.
Second.
Any questions? Okay, roll call vote there.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith, Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yeah.
7
I'll make a motion to approve one-time water bill adjustment for Mike Handy at 813 East Third Street, amount of $1,758.17.
Second.
That's a big one. All right, roll call vote there.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith, Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yeah.
Stevens,
Yes.
7
This one-time water bill adjustment is quite popular.
Well, some of these that we acted on tonight, the way the old system was, like the one at the lake, they had the sewer, so you couldn't do adjustments. A couple of these you couldn't do adjustments on. But now the way we changed it, made it fair for everybody, now we can make it right, and this is what we're doing.
I like it. Administration.
Make a motion to purchase the pool chemicals for the 25 season from Spear, in the amount of $5,599.
Second.
Any discussion or questions? Okay, roll call vote there.
Smith, Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yeah.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
7
Make a motion to approve their annual Lexi pool contract for the police department, in the amount of $5,074. $2,000 of that will be from the safety grant, and then the rest will be from their training I have.
Second.
Any questions? Okay, roll call vote there.
Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yeah.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith, 7
Make a motion to approve the theater budget for the remainder of this year through April, in the amount of $11,780.
Second.
And also that will amend the 25 general budget to reflect this change.
Second, any questions? Okay, roll call vote.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yeah.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith, Garrett,
Yes.
7
And the last item is, motion on the hospital to remove the tree at 9th and Poplar at their expense.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? There goes the tree.
I do have hospital have to do to get this done?
I need a permit to work in the right of way. Need a permit to work in the right of way.
Permit to work in the right of way, that's it? Okay.
Community support.
Motion to allow Pana Parks revitalization to proceed with electrical improvements in the park near the Chautauqua at their expense. That work will be done by Brian Levon.
Second.
Second, any questions? Okay, roll call vote there.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion to allow Pana Parks revitalization to proceed with work for rewiring and LED lights at the tennis courts at Kitchen Park at their expense. That work will also be done by Brian Levon.
Any questions? Okay, roll call vote.
Schneider,
Yes.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
Motion to allow Pana Parks revitalization to host paddle boat races on the Kitchen Park Lagoon as part of Popcorn Festival activities. That event will be covered under the PPRC insurance policy.
Second.
Scotty, you want to raise out there?
Yeah, we can do that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
And motion to allow Pana Youth Baseball Softball Organization to run new underground wiring for lighting. The expense will be split between the city of Pana and PYDSO at approximately $1,000.
Second, any questions? Roll call.
Stevens,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Chrysler,
Yes.
Eddie,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays.
All right. Economic development, new business, citizens' opportunity to address the council. Brian Sims with the Penn Hospital Foundation.
Mr. Mayor, a updated proposal on the Ninth Street project that we asked about last year. Same project, nothing has changed except the price has changed slightly. But the hospital foundation board is still willing to cover the expense in full. We just need a agreement with the city for us to be able to do so. That is 9th Street from 51 to Chestnut. The city did do some work, last fall on replacing one of the main water lines, at the intersection there right in front of the hospital. My understanding is they still have a little bit of work to be done, but they've assured me that it can be done in time if we get the proposal and get the work first. So,
Make a motion to have the city attorney draw up an agreement with the hospital foundation.
Second, any questions for Brian or anything about this?
so this is going all the way to Chestnut? Yes. Or we
The
two
full
four blocks? Just up to the bridge or on? Should go on past the bridge. Okay.
All right.
What do we have left on that, Chris? I know we got that intersection out, we got that certified, it was gonna bump our new roads, gonna turn the road up there.
There are no, we're gonna tap the main that runs down the alley for the services that we gotta run, so there will be no other holes on 9th Street in front of the hospital, other than taking the intersection out. Setting the catch basin down at the low end, to be west of your guys' main entrance, we're gonna set a catch basin over the, storm drain there, and then taking the brick out of the intersection, taking the brick north of North on Locust, pour some concrete, but we're gonna re-tap the main in the alley though, for the service that we have to run to the house that sits on the corner of that alley. So we won't tap that 10-inch or 4 that's in the road on line.
We still have to get something for that curb.
Yes, that's in the works, I have someone, gonna take care of that.
You still got to pull the old fire plug out,
I've already done it.
okay?
Will they do the little concrete interface between asphalt and brick, the curb people?
We can arrange that, yeah.
We'll pull
I
that
thought
out.
I was just gonna shut it down and do it in 2 doors.
Okay.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of having a draft agreement done by Steve?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you.